You won't believe it, she lined up the patients like they were in a baseball game. They got isolated treatment, and surprisingly, many patients were holding onto baseballs of hope and freedom, so Cell started passing them around. Leonard's yearning gaze always tugged at her heart, and sometimes, patients just needed to chill with some tunes, so Cell played specific music for them. Some patients would react immediately when others did. Still, even though everyone needed treatment, Cell kept her sights firmly on Leonard. She manipulated Leonard, slowly moving the pointer to teach him letters, but Leonard had his own agenda, always nudging the pointer elsewhere, making Cell think those letters held some secret meaning. She noted them down and, surprise, it was a poet's name. After. She read the poet's works in hopes of grasping Leonard's thoughts, awakening what people considered a freak. Their souls were just held captive. But their thoughts were still sizzling until she attended a lecture on Parkinson's and discovered the wonder drug, Levodopa. She chased the pharmacist into the restroom, excitedly unloading her thoughts like a kid on Christmas. But the pharmacist brushed her off like a pesky fly and left. Back at the hospital, Cell hoped the director would let her use Levodopa on patients to strengthen her case. She dug up some literature showing stroke patients' candy-like adventures with the new drug. The director, impressed by her determination, let her treat one patient, provided family signed consent. She wanted to see just how capable this guy could be. She approached Leonard's mom, hoping he would be the trailblazer really. Cell just wanted to save him first. Mom was curious about what that drug would do for Leonard, but she was just as clueless. Fighting against illness is a gamble, and she hoped he could bring back his spirit from anywhere, even from any corner of this world. Why had she given so much for him in the past? Eventually, Mom placed her faint hope on Cell, but when she got to the end, she hurriedly mixed 200 pills into the orange juice. She had Mom help Leonard take it, but the first try failed, so he upped the dose to 500, replacing juice with milk. Yet, the results were still disappointing. He wanted another shot, so he sneakily slipped into the quiet pharmacy and cranked the meds to. It seemed like he was playing with the patients' lives, but he knew he was ready to shoulder any responsibilities and consequences to help. He carefully dozed at the bedside, waking up to find Leonard was MIA. He frantically searched around. Meanwhile, filled with anticipation, he saw Leonard at the table and tiptoed over. Leonard glanced at the stranger, smiled, and said it was surprisingly quiet. Cell succeeded. She freed Leonard from the bed. Not wishing to disrupt this long-absent tranquility, he remained with Leonard until daybreak, witnessing Leonard's new lease on life. He tried to live in this room he had inhabited for over 30 years, feeling like he had been there forever, yet couldn't remember a thing. The long wheelchair life not only shackled his body but also trapped his perception of the world. Cell called in Leonard's mom, and the moment they reunited, no words could compare to a long-awaited hug. She introduced Leonard to the caring nurses, and they all sat around the dining table together. They enjoyed a delightful meal that reminded them of being normal. She snapped a picture of Leonard, leaving him looking utterly confused at his own reflection. Subtitles. He walked up to the mirror, drifting off to sleep while humming his mother's lullaby. But was all of this really what he wanted? He combed his messy hair back, trying to look a bit younger while shaving off his unruly beard. Meanwhile, Cell was capturing all these beautiful moments with her camera. That day, he took Leonard on a neighborhood tour. The Bronx had completely transformed. Time had swept away the old and ushered in the new. Spotting a cute couple on a motorcycle, Leonard couldn't help but feel a spark of youthful excitement. When he caught sight of those pretty and lovely girls, he couldn't help but steal a few more glances. The world had never ceased its spinning. Overhead planes stirred his heart out. He aimed to savor diverse experiences and thrilling adventures. On his face, there was hardly a trace of middle age, just an old visage paired with a youthful heart. Leonard was quite the observer. He knew Nurse Lena had a crush on Cell, so he casually mentioned her in front of Cell. Cell had already prepped responses and thought, should he reach out to some business folks for sponsorship? Leveraging Leonard's influence might score him bigger support, but the director dashed his hopes quickly. The sponsoring merchants have already exhausted all their resources. They simply don't have the time to invest in this business endeavor either. Cell remained silent as Les just happened to deliver a check at that moment. Soon enough, all the staff pitched in a little of their own, wanting to see the patients enjoy their rights as normal people soon. Cell called the meeting in hopes to share Leonard's experience. Elena garnered social sympathy, but he forgot his jargon, leaving the audience scratching their heads. Just as he was ready to plow ahead without a plan, Elena stepped in to remind him and encouraged him to stay calm. Realizing his approach was off, he quickly adjusted. "My name is Leonard L, and I'm back." The audience buzzed with chatter, but promptly whipped out their checks, signing their names, deciding to trust. Cell's unique proposal finally secured funding support. Now every patient could drink a Levodopa, and they were just a step away from a new lease on life. After a busy day, Cell stayed silent, awaiting his return home. Exhausted, he slept in the office, then was suddenly woken by a nurse. One by one, patients stood up, curiously lighting the way, astonished they could finally rise. Cell looked at Leonard with joy, realizing he had, in a way, saved this about-to-fade group.